Welcome back. I'm joined at the desk with the basketball crew here to break down what's been going on around the NBA. And fellas, we're going to play a little game, and it's called Whose Stat Is That? I'll give you the numbers, you tell me the player. Let's throw them up and have some guesses. So take a look here. 30, 11, and 12. Philip, who is it?
I'm going to say Rick Barry. I think that's Rick Barry.
Okay, Steve?
Seems like the walking triple-double, Mr. Oscar Robertson.
What?
I'm going to have to go with Wilt Chamberlain on this one. I don't know.
Okay.
Still.
Dante, whose stat is that?
I honestly don't know. I think Magic Johnson almost averaged triple-double. I'll go with him.
Let's have a little reveal. Take a look who it is. Oscar Robertson.
Steven.
Oh.
Guys, the reason I'm showing you these numbers is because it's one of the best statistical seasons of all time, and someone in the game today is showing signs of duplicating a similar season, and his name, we all know it, is Russell Westbrook. And for more on this historic start to the season, we bring in Chris Douglas to talk more about Russ's start to the season.
Thanks, Mason. Russell Westbrook has been defying all odds this season by averaging a triple-double through his first 20 games. He has been nothing short of a monster, averaging 30 points per game, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds per game as well. His play has carried the Oklahoma City Thunder to a 12-8 start to begin the season after many expected this team to be in the bottom half of the Western Conference. Perhaps the most impressive statistic that Westbrook has achieved is the number of triple-doubles he has put up in his short career in the NBA. To put this into perspective, Westbrook has more triple-doubles than LeBron James has had in his career. And oh, by the way, he did it in about 400 less games. Needless to say, fellas, we are in for an amazing NBA season. Back to you guys.
Now, guys, Russell Westbrook is putting up legendary numbers. He's officially in the same boat as Larry Bird, Oscar Robertson, clearly. He's just being an absolute dominator on the court. So, Wyatt, tell me about how is he getting all this done?
Well, let's take a look. This guy is one of the most ferocious players on a basketball court. You see his game face is always on. This guy is one of the best finishers at the basket in the entire NBA. He gets to the rim better than anyone. He can shoot from the outside. And you know what? He gets fouled a ton, and that's where a lot of the points come from the free throw line.
Philip, what do you see here?
Call me crazy, but I'm not impressed.
Crazy.
I'm not impressed. I'm going to say
crazy.
I'm not impressed.
I think you're ridiculous.
With what Russell Westbrook is doing right now. I think the most important thing for a basketball player is to get those wins. They're barely above 500. I don't think this is as impressive as people are making it out to be.
I think he's nuts. Steve, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you're nuts. I don't know. But I think what I'm seeing here is a guy who completely loves the game of basketball, who's put in 110% every single game. Closest guy you can see, Allen Iverson's play back in the day. So I think Russell Westbrook, if he can carry this Thunder team into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the problem. I don't know if he could carry this team on his shoulders. And we were talking about Oscar Robertson before. That team ended up going 55-25, and they had 4 Hall of Famers on that team.
Right.
Who does Russell Westbrook have besides himself?
The most valuable player on their
gonna
team. Steven Adams is the most valuable player on that team right now.
This guy's nuts.
I think Steven Adams is the most valuable player.
What do you think, Wyatt?
Well, look, we had this conversation the other day about star players. In the NBA, it's extremely hard to take one team as the only player and take them to the finals. We talked about 2 guys who I grew up watching. That's the 07 Cavs with LeBron. He was pretty much the only great player on the team. Right. And then 2000 was our Justin McHugh, Sixers fan, and Allen Iverson. And those are 2 great players. And now Russell Westbrook is great, and he's putting up all these numbers. I don't think he's that good in the fact that he would take a team to the finals like those 2 teams. And this Thunder team is eerily similar to that Cavs team and to that Sixers team where there is only one weapon. And I don't think Westbrook has that firepower to take them to the finals.
I'm going to have to disagree heavily. I think this Thunder team...
You just said he wasn't that good.
No, he's a great player, don't get me wrong. But I don't think this team is as bad as those Cavs and those Sixers teams. This team could be a great team. If they just had one more piece, they could be a championship contender. You're telling me they can't be? They
had Durant. Adams. What was Durant? Another piece? And they never won.
But they could have. Now they got Victor Oladipo in the offseason. That could have been that piece to push them over. They have Oladipo, they have Cantor, they have Adams, they have a solid bench. They just got Jeremy Grant. They are potentially a great team, and Westbrook's making it so it seems that he's the only good player on that team. He's taking the ball away from everyone else on that team. He's being selfish right now.
I think he's nuts.
He's number 2 in the league in assists. Where is he taking the ball away from these guys?
And he's also number 1 in the league in turnovers.
Right. Well, when you handle the ball that much,
he's also shooting 42% and 22 from behind the line.
Now
that's terrible. From behind the 3-point line. That's
what?
Terrible.
Wrap this up for me. We're just going to ignore Filip here. Do you think that this, as Chris told us, he's doing more triple doubles than LeBron James in about 400 less games than he did? Is this going to last, or is this just like youthfulness that's going to end up wearing out?
I think we saw this at the cusp of last season where Durant got hurt and Westbrook went into the playoffs and he was putting up all these gaudy numbers. I think with Durant gone and with Oladipo there, I mean, no one else is taking the shots and the ball away from Westbrook. I think he's really that good where he's going to put up these numbers in not an injury-riddled, but an offensively challenged team.
Sure, and that's all the time we have for Hoops. We'll be keeping an eye on Westbrook's historic start as the rest of the season unfolds. Stick around. Coming up next, we have the hockey crew taking the desk to let us know the latest in the NHL. Keep it locked.